Hi everyone, it's Natalie here. Sorry I haven't been around more. It's been a really tough time. That new moon last week was a doozy. And while I don't feel like I can really talk about it today, at some point I probably will. Suffice it to say, I'm getting over a nasty case of bronchitis, so you may hear a little bit of hoarseness in my voice, or I may have to pause at some point to cough and just kind of clear something, but it does appear to be on the mend. This is the first day in a week that I managed to get out of bed and not spend the first 10 minutes of my day hacking. So I consider that to be a real bonus, let me tell you. So yeah, there's that, and just family can be so toxic. That's about all I can really name at this point. So yeah, I had to do a lot of just, okay, I'm done, moving on. So there we are. And in the middle of that, and in the middle of just kind of clearing a lot of things out and thinking in terms, literally clearing things out and then clearing stuff out of space, and, a lot of theme about things, being purified, moved on, shifted, etc. Part of that has also become looking at personal belongings and things I don't want to keep around anymore that feel like they're starting to become heavy or a little bit suffocating. And so that said, I have some decks that I'd like to share with all of you because I want to find them some new homes. They're decks that, some of them are older decks that I had from before, from when I was doing tarot in my 20s and early 30s and late teens. And some of them are ones that I picked up this year, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to start and go through them. Some I have prices and ideas of prices for. Others I have no idea. And I think the vast majority, no idea. If you see something that you like and you want to make me an offer before I go and put all of them on eBay and maybe Etsy, let me know. And we can negotiate. If you're willing to pay the price of the deck, that feels mutually agreeable, and you're willing to pay postage, we're in good shape. So if you see something you want, you can either leave a comment, and I'm super behind on comments. I'm really aware of that at the moment. Or you can contact me on my email. So if you go to the contact section or the about section on my channel, my email is there. It's real simple. It's just sanskritblue@gmail.com. So you can find me there as well. So yeah, where to begin? I'll begin with the most boring thing I have. I have the Everyday Tarot, and I know that I think it's Biddy Tarot that came up with this one. I've literally never used it. It comes in this cute little box. I don't know if everybody's familiar with it or not. The back of the book is not even bent. It's got a sweet little magnetic box and then a transparent thing in here. I think I did, yeah. I opened it and pulled the cards out just to look at them. And I kind of thought, yeah, they're lovely. I thought maybe I would want to carry them around with me, just have a second little, a little deck that's RWS based that I could carry with me. And I've realized it's just not the deck that I would go to or want to use. It is a cute deck. Very simple, very clear, very easy to read with. So perfect for beginners. And it's brand new. And there's just literally, I got it, I brought it home, I opened it, I looked at it, and then put it on my shelf. And I realized I'm just not going to use it. So there's this one. Let's see. I also have a Morgan Greer that is pretty well brand new this year. I've maybe used it twice, if that. The tiny little white book is in perfect shape. Tuck boxes suck. We all know that. So it's not perfect, but I mean, anytime you open the tuck box or it gets touched or moved, you know what I mean? It just doesn't do so good. But it's, you know, it's pretty much a brand new Morgan Greer. So if you're familiar with Morgan Greer, you know, it is a beautiful deck. There's nothing wrong with it. I love the Morgan Greer deck. I'm just not using it. It just has become not a deck that I really use for whatever reason. I thought I would want to. I thought I would probably choose to use it more. And it just has not been the one. I also wanted to get more like familiar again with RWS images and kind of dive a little deeper into them, I thought, at the beginning of the year. Just as I was getting back in and refamiliarizing myself. And I did. I mean, I refamiliarized myself and I was like, okay, yeah, this is exactly as I remember it. I can, you know, it was just not as much work, I think, as I anticipated. You know, the images were never really very far from my mind to begin with, so, oh, there's the title card. Wow, I guess those got shuffled in at some point. So yeah, so there we go. It is a really stunning deck. Oh, that Five of Cups. That it's blood. Oops, I'm not. Yeah. So some of these are among my favorite images. The Eight of Cups, which we were just at, is one of my favorites in the Morgan Greer, and oh, there it is. That's my favorite Eight of Cups anywhere. I love it. That's probably why I got the deck, honestly, was because I've always loved this particular Eight of Cups. And because I've spent so much time in that card in my life. So there was a lot of need at that point just to kind of reconcile with that image, I think. I'm sort of done with that process. No pun intended there. So yeah, perfect, excellent condition. The card stock, I have to say, for US, I mean, it's US Games typical card stock, and it's not bad. It's like really smooth and velvety, and it feels like, you know, the shuffle motion of it is gorgeous. So yeah, so there's a Morgan Greer, brand new, barely used. And I can't believe I'm doing this because I love the Aquarian deck, but as much as I love the Aquarian Tarot, I've realized that what I really want is a vintage deck. And right now the vintage decks are really pretty out of my price range. God, this is gorgeous. But in the meantime, I don't feel like that attached to having this one. So if you're looking for a relatively, if you're not worried about it being a new, you know, version of this deck, it is gorgeous whether you're getting it, you know, newer, older, whatever. And I think, too, if I was going to have a newer deck, I'd rather have it in a tin. I should say, too, I'm also open to the possibility of trading decks. If you have a deck that you think I would want and you would want to trade for one of the ones I've got that I'm going to show, let me know that as well, because I'm not against that. I'll be honest. If I'm like, yeah, I'm not really wanting that one, you know, I'll tell you. That High Priestess is just so beautiful. Yeah. So, yeah, really, really gorgeous deck. I always wanted one. Oh my God, the wands in this deck. Oh, yeah, I always wanted one of these. And the moon, oh man. And I got it and I loved it and I shuffled it and played, you know, did some, I think they're even on the channel. I did some, wow, I can't even think. It's one of, Lisa from Mindful Tarot does a Tarot Pulse. I did lots of tarot pulses with this deck. And I think I really didn't even shuffle it. I think I just overhand shuffled it. Oh, the color scheme, so beautiful. So anyway, if you're into the Aquarian Tarot, most of us are familiar with it. You know, if you're looking for this one or you want a spare one or something, it's available. And again, I may, you know, maybe that nobody has any interest in these decks at all. No idea, but I'm putting it out there, and it may be that I just end up going to eBay and just like packaging them or bundling them all together. So the next one is the New Era Elements Tarot. It is a genius tarot deck that I will never use. It is based in the Thoth system, and that is really why I've held on to it for as long as I have, was so that I could really afford to. It has a gorgeous little white book. This is new US Games, by the way. Like, this is one of their better, newer, you know, methods of packaging their stuff, and it is wildly successful, IMHO. It's a genius. This deck is a genius, and I will never use it because it has such a strong opinion and such a strong voice that although I really, which I love, I'll be honest, I really do. I love the opinion. I love the voice. I love that Emperor. The card stock is better than the usual. It's a lot better than the usual, it feels to me. Maybe it's just because of the size. It's not as big, you know, as the Aquarian. Like, it's a little bit slimmer. I love the Hierophant as the Dalai Lama. I love the Lovers as like an older couple. This Chariot has never made sense to me. I love that one. So this is Justice, Hermit, Wheel, Strength, Hanged Man, beautiful Death card. A lot of these cards, a lot of the majors are just exquisite. Anyway, the Devil is a controversial one. I think it's actually very effective. But again, it's just got a very strong opinion. I have a lot of decks that have that, you know, that have a really powerful opinion that's not flexible. But this one more, in a way that, oh God, the Sun and Moon in this deck is exquisite. There are just some images in here that I know because of them, I will not end up using the deck. That's just how it is. I have a walkthrough of it. I will link, you know, like where I have walkthroughs of it. Like, this to me, like, I have a hard time looking at this card without wanting to cry, and I don't want to be in that place every time I sit and read for queerance, you know. There are a few of them like that hit me so hard when I look at them. It's not that those kinds of things are not necessary. I just don't, I can't, as a reader, I can't encounter with that every time I go to read for a client. And I don't want to put myself through that. I'm very sensitive, and there are things that I'm really okay with having my sensitivity set off about, and there are other things that I'm not, and I just don't want to have my sensitivity set off about every time I sit down, or I don't want to become so desensitized to them that I'm not seeing them or noticing them anymore. Does that make sense? So yeah, that one I'm offloading. The final tarot deck that's like a recently printed that I'm offloading is my second copy of the Osho Zen Tarot. This is a deck I love, and I could not originally find my, or I couldn't, when I picked up my cards again and started wanting to read and getting, acquiring more decks, I really wanted to go back and grab, I couldn't find my original decks, and I didn't find them until I went to my storage unit, like when in January or February. And by that point, I was wanting badly to have a copy of the Osho Zen Tarot because, oh, so beautiful. It was one of the only decks that, I mean, it held the space for me when I was younger that the Marielle holds now. It is so beautiful. I've never used this one because not long after I got it, I found my copy. And my original copy is really my copy. It's the one that I love. So I'm going to be keeping my original copy. I don't really feel I need to read with this deck as much anymore. So having a backup copy of it doesn't seem like it's really necessary right now. And at the moment, I really, honestly, I just need more, I need money more than I needed a spare deck of or spare copy of a deck that I don't really use. God, that's stunning. That Temperance. Yeah, it's a really beautiful, beautiful deck. I've never done a walkthrough of it that I remember. There are those out there who have done walkthroughs and reviews of this deck that are amazing. Katie Flowers is someone who has a walkthrough of it and a review that's really good. I can't remember if it's favorable or not. I just remember it was a really good review. There are a few. So I encourage you to check those out. It is a beautiful deck if you're not familiar with it. And let's see, most recently, yeah, I'm letting go of my Pixies Astounding Lenormand. As I've started getting into learning Lenormand and wanting to learn Lenormand, what I'm finding is that my brain is more curious about which of the original RWS decks these images are coming from than it is about. Now this one doesn't affect me because this isn't in part of the original RWS. But where some of the images are, it makes me crazy. Because I can't just focus, I'm looking at this and I'm going, oh, I know where that background came from. Or where did that background come from? I can't see this and not start to associate it. I mean, those images are so ingrained in my head. I can't not see the Five of Pentacles when I look at this one, right? I can't not see, like, the Four of Cups when I look at this one. It's just a problem for me, personally. I think this one's a Two of Pentacles with the snake. So, it's just, yeah. I'm seeing this, here I'm seeing the Four of Swords. I just can't, Eight of Cups. I can't read them, Four of Cups again. I can't read them at the High Priestess without Seven of Swords. You see what I'm saying? Just not helpful. Yeah. So I've gotta shift it. I can't. Yeah, Six of Cups. I can't read with it. I just can't read with it because my brain wants to associate tarot meanings instead of Lenormand meanings. And that's a problem when you're trying to learn. So, yeah, it's operating with me on a level that's not helpful right now. My brain is so accustomed to overcomplicating everything that it just can't decomplicate Pixie's Astounding Lenormand in a way that's helpful. So, yeah, I'm going to move it on to somebody who can really enjoy it. It is a brilliant Lenormand deck. Everybody in my local tarot meetup group loves this deck. They can't believe that I don't love it. They're shocked that I don't love it. They're like, why don't you love it? I'm like, well, I can't dissociate those meanings. That's the problem. And really, to learn something new, I have to be able to make a choice that's active, so that I can engage a beginner's mind. Does that make sense? Final, like, contemporary one where I actually have a fixed price. Okay, this is the Marshmallow Marseille. Gorgeous, gorgeous deck, right? Indie deck. That's printed by one of my favorite printers, Ivy Feng. Oh, I love her. Gorgeous little magnetic closed box. This moon card is what sold me. I love that moon card so much. I would eat it for dinner and dessert and lunch every day of the week. It's a really lovely Marseille deck that I don't use. I want to love this Marseille deck, and I find that as Marseille decks go, this one does not read, for me personally, as easily as others do. Gorgeous tower. Interesting, I never noticed that the sun is directing a ray into that. Very different than lightning. Interesting. Yeah, just as Marseille decks go, it just doesn't read as easily or as clearly somehow. The face cards are fine. For me, it's the pips. And I love reading, although I don't read as much as I would like to at the moment with pip decks, because I feel a need to kind of re-examine how I'm reading with them. So I've been just kind of watching different creators who work with Marseille style decks, or rather, yeah, different YouTube creators, and getting a feel for all the different perspectives that are out there. This is just not the one for me. I know Tom Benjamin is in love with it, and he uses it all the time. I wanted to be that person with this one, and I just am not. So, in the truth, like, I'm just not. The backs are exquisite. They are this, like, and they've got a marshmallow. Look at that. It's a marshmallow at the back. They're this gorgeous little holographic sort of color. I always thought it would be fun to, like, edge in bubblegum pink. And I had intentions to do all of that, and I pulled this out to read for a client the other day, and we laid out the spread, and it was fine. I was able to read it and move forward, and I also was just like, by the end of that reading, because the client liked these cards, which is great, and so I was happy for her to have them for that reading. It was just not, I realized as I was reading it, like, the clarity and the detail for me in terms of something that sparks that in my imagination, which I even find very comfortably in pip decks, was just not there. And I thought, okay, I've been playing and messing with this deck, just shuffling it, pulling it out, reordering it, shuffling it, trying to read with it for 8 months, and just not getting anywhere with that. So there we are. It was $40 on Etsy, on the creator's site, and I paid $47 with shipping. So I would sell this one because it is basically been shuffled a few times, not even riffle shuffled, just overhand shuffled. It's basically brand new. I want $30 for it plus shipping, so it would be $38 altogether domestically. Yeah, and I might be willing, if you live someplace else, like if you're in Australia or New Zealand. I'm trying to think if we have any people around that are from South Africa. But yeah, if you're anywhere else in the world where shipping is ridiculous and exorbitant, I'd be willing to negotiate on the shipping and include some of that in the price. So let me know. So there's that. All right. Those are my new ones. Now for the rarer ones that are not as easy to find. So this is an original Zerner Farber tarot deck that I bought for $15, probably in 1997, I'm thinking. Yeah, 96 or 97, maybe 98. And it's obviously before it became the Enchanted Tarot. And for a while on Etsy, I was creating, and I keep meaning to bring these out and show folks, but it just hasn't happened. It's so little. It's such a tiny little deck. And it's gorgeous, but I can't read with this. It's too busy for me. Even though I love the images. Love, love, love. But I used to also use these images to create fiber collages. Sorry, brain fart. So this is a fiber artist that created these as fiber collages, and then what I would do is create, I would scan the card, print it on fabric, put it in the center, and then create layers of fabric and stitching all around it. And I sold several of them and custom made some on Etsy and stuff back in 2012, 2013, 2014, somewhere in there. When I was officially not reading the tarot, I was still working with it. But yeah, I think it's basically all the same images as the Enchanted Tarot, but it is already borderless. This has literally never been used. It is in perfect condition. I have loved this death card. I made like 2 or 3 different collages, like custom for people with this death card in it. And I think I even still, if you're interested in something like that, by the way, you can also message me and we can talk about it. I should really get some photos up and do a video of those collages. But anyway, yeah, that death card I have always loved. I really kind of took refuge in this death card for a while. Oh, so good. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you are a borderless fanatic, and you love the Enchanted Tarot, this is definitely, I mean, look at her. This is definitely your deck. It's funny, it splits at cards I've done collages of. I keep expecting, let's see if Princess of Hearts is here. I did a really beautiful, oh, it's Princess of Swords. I did a really pretty Princess of Hearts collage for somebody. Here she is. A couple of years ago, and I put a heart-shaped locket on the collage. It was a tarot reader who wanted to make one or get one made for her sister. So yeah, I catered to tarot readers for a while, but anyway, this deck could still be edged because it's literally pretty well never been used. So it's mint condition, virtually. Tiny amount of chipping on that back card. But yeah, I think you'd be challenged to find a, as clean of a copy out there. And you know the home that it's coming from. So this one I probably, unless you have an offer you want to make me, this one will probably go straight onto eBay because it is, I mean, even for a tuck box, it's in extremely good shape. So there's that one. So sorry about that. Now I'm back. I had a little coughing fit and went to pick up some cards that fell all over the floor. Yeah, if you're interested in that one, let me know. The next one up for bid is the Power Deck, Cards of Wisdom by Lynn V. Andrews. I was really, really gentle with my cards. And this was like a personal deck, really. So it's these gorgeous images. Oops. And then, you know, on the back, oh, so gorgeous. So like a back of this one is strength. So on the back of each card, there's a quote, and then there's the direction that it falls in. Wow, I probably really needed that one. Wow, there we are. I used to love this one. This was one of my favorite cards when I was younger. Centering, never leave your center. Count your bad points as well as your good. What is good and what is bad are most often purely relative. If you sense a weakness within yourself, explore it. It may become the source of your greatest strength. So that one's a good one. What else? Yeah, they're just so pretty. And they're both horizontal and vertical. That one, yeah. Oh, that's so pretty. Wow, what is that? Focus. Yeah. So these, I mean, as I'm flipping through them, they're in really good shape. They show some age, like the cardstock is aging a little bit, kind of yellowing at the edges, but it's really in very, very good shape. It has been loved and cared for and treated with great reverence. Great reverence. So I don't know. I don't know if this one, I think this one's still available on the mass market. I have to say, in recent years, I've become super duper not a fan of Lynn V. Andrews. And yet, I don't hate the deck. So I guess don't shoot the messenger? I don't know. So there's that one. And I better put it someplace where I'm not going to knock it over. I've also got the Mythic Astrology deck by Liz Green. And this is in its original box, obviously, back in whenever I bought it. It was in the early 90s, probably, or sorry, late 90s, early 2000s. This was one I really intended to use a whole lot, and I don't remember ever using it a whole lot. It has a big book. I don't think I ever really used it. I have no memory of using it. It's beautiful. Oh, wow. Yeah, some of the cards are... Wow. Okay, I did not realize that. So, okay, there's a second book. Nope, it's a notepad. Wow. Okay, so there's like a cool notepad in here that's got all of this stuff in it. It has a spread cloth. Yeah, this is one I clearly just never messed with. So there's a spread cloth and a particular way you're supposed to look at all of this because the notepad has that guidance in it as well. So this is what's on your spread cloth. And then look at this. So here is the purple stack of cards, right? And then still sealed is the burgundy stack. So this has really never been used. No wonder I don't remember it, because I never actually used it. So, yeah, the way that this was in here, I don't think I even realized I think I thought that was another element of packaging, because they're in here like this, and I thought this was just packaging, but not. I don't know why that never got used. I don't even know where it came from. I probably got it at work when I was still working at the metaphysical bookstore, New Age shop, back in the 90s. Or it may have come from a friend who did not use it and wanted to give it to me because I was interested in astrology. So I really don't know. But it's in pretty well mint condition. The box is not perfect. The box has been traveling with me all over the world for a couple of decades here, while I lived in like England and various other places. So Chicago, blah blah blah. So yeah, this one is maybe worth a bit of cash. It's in, I don't know, it's in really good condition. I don't know if it's still, I have no idea. Anyway, there's that one. And last but definitely not least, the Shakespearean Tarot. So I felt, because I was in theater, that I could never get rid of this deck. And funny thing is, I don't think I ever even used the deck. In fact, I don't think I ever did. It is in mint condition. It is still in order. I don't remember ever even picking it up or doing more than flipping through it. Yeah, I don't think I ever even shuffled it. So if you've ever, let's just look. Let's see what's in here. You know, the box is in terrible condition. Again, it's been with me in London. It moved back to, moved all over London about 8 or 10 times. And then came back with me to the States in Chicago. Amazingly, it made it back. And then back to St. Louis. So somehow it managed to get that far. So it's got all of the cards, because they literally barely came out of the box. So the box has been kind of shifted and moved a lot, and you can see it's kind of off, it's kind of wonky, but like they literally did not even, I don't think I've done more than just pull them out once. So these guys are in perfect condition, and they don't move inside the box. They're going to stay put. Has a book. The spine is not even broken, because I never studied it. If Nat studies a book, you'll know, because it'll be completely destroyed. But, decent book. The whole thing is in perfect shape. The box is trashed-ish. It's like not in great shape for what it is, but it's not bad. It's not bad for what it is. It has kept those cards and the book safe. So if you have any interest in the Shakespearean Tarot, it is in perfect condition. Again, I need to do a little bit of research on it to find out what it's actually worth. But if you want to make me an offer, go for it. I'll consider it. Otherwise, I will put it on Etsy or eBay. It'll go on eBay. All right, guys, that's it. That's what I got. So if you see anything you want, we're all pretty familiar with prices of decks and things that are recent. So, send me an email or a comment and we can negotiate. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.